Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And today, we've got a story that could completely alter the course of the Los Angeles Lakers, one that's stirring up whispers across the league and may just be the beginning of a bold new era for the purple and gold. Now, the Lakers are currently holding steady at the number 3 spot in the ultra-competitive Western Conference. A solid 46-29 record has them firmly in the playoff picture, and to the casual observer, everything seems to be going according to plan. The tandem of Luka Doncic and LeBron James, a generational duo nobody saw coming just a few seasons ago, has delivered on its promise so far. Luka's court vision and ability to control the tempo have perfectly complemented LeBron's unmatched basketball IQ and ageless production. Add to that the continued rise of Austin Reeves, who's become a key piece in the Lakers' puzzle, and you might think there's little to be concerned about. But here's the twist. Not everything is as stable as it appears on the surface. Despite the team's success in the standings, cracks are beginning to show, quietly, subtly, but undeniably. And depending on how the front office chooses to address them, this offseason could either elevate the Lakers to true title contention or fracture the foundation they've built. Let's take a step back for a moment. One of the biggest questions floating around the Lakers organization right now is this. Is this team truly built for a deep playoff run? That's not just a media talking point. It's something that scouts, insiders, and even rival executives have started to murmur about behind the scenes. While Doncic and LeBron continue to be dominant forces on the floor, there's growing concern about what happens when the lights get brighter, when the margin for error shrinks, and when playoff series are won not just by stars, but by depth, durability, and defensive flexibility. And this is where the conversation starts to get really interesting. The Lakers roster is extremely top-heavy. They've put the vast majority of their resources into 3 players, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. That trio has been magical at times. But the drop-off after that, it's noticeable. The bench has struggled to maintain leads. The center rotation is inconsistent. The role players haven't provided the kind of spark or stability that championship teams often rely on deep into May and June. So what's the solution? This summer, General Manager Rob Pelinka faces a franchise-defining decision. He has 2 clear paths in front of him. One is the safer, more traditional route, use the team's limited cap space to bring in multiple reliable, mid-tier role players. Shore up the bench. Add some veteran toughness. Give Doncic and LeBron the support they need over a grueling playoff run. That would be the conservative choice. But the other path, that's where things get spicy. The other path is bold, risky, the kind of move that either propels you to a title or leaves you with regrets for years to come. Pelinka could lean even further into the Big 3 philosophy. He could package together assets to acquire a 3rd star, a true offensive weapon to lighten the load on Doncic and LeBron, someone who can create his own shot, punish defenses, and carry stretches of games on his own. And one name that has started to gain traction, one name that's buzzing in front office circles, is Zach LaVine. Now, before you scroll down to the comments to say, no way we're trading Reeves, hear this out. There's a hypothetical trade scenario that's been floating around, and it's one that, while painful, could make basketball sense on paper. Imagine the Lakers offering a package of Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Maxi Kleber, and this year's 17th overall pick in the NBA draft, Dalton Knecht. All of that sent to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Zach LaVine, the 2-time All-Star who's been one of the league's most dynamic scorers in recent years. It's a heavy price, no doubt. Reeves has become a beloved figure and the kind of underdog story fans rally behind. His chemistry with the stars, his growth, his fearlessness in big moments, all of that makes this a tough pill to swallow. But now ask yourself, could LaVine be the missing piece? At 30 years old, LaVine is averaging 22.8 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game this season. He's doing it on a wildly efficient 60.3% effective field goal percentage. And perhaps even more eye-popping, he's shooting 43.2% from beyond the arc. That's the 3rd best three-point percentage in the entire league this season. He's not just a scorer, he's an efficient, versatile, 3-level threat who can thrive on or off the ball. And his athleticism, still elite. This is a guy who's won the slam dunk contest twice, and even at 30, he's a nightmare to guard in transition. Now think about how that fits with LeBron and Luka. Both of those guys are creators. They attract double teams. They generate open looks for others. and both, at this stage of their careers, could benefit immensely from having a third option who can just go out and get buckets. No play call needed. Someone who can handle the ball, create his own shot, and change the momentum of a game in a matter of possessions. LaVine fits that mold perfectly. But then we circle back to the risk. LaVine has had injury concerns. He's on a hefty contract, and he's never been known for his defense. Giving up a beloved young player like Reeves, along with a draft pick and valuable depth, is no small gamble. There's also the chemistry question. Would bringing in a high-usage scorer disrupt the delicate balance this team has worked so hard to establish? Still, you can't ignore the upside. If it works, the Lakers would roll into the 2025-26 season with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Zach LaVine as their core trio. That's an offensive trio with the potential to rival anything in the NBA. Three guys who can score at will, pass, and stretch the floor. If healthy, that's a terrifying lineup for any opponent. And it's not like the Lakers haven't made bold moves before. This is a franchise that's always swung big, whether it was trading for Anthony Davis, pursuing Russell Westbrook, or signing veterans in the final chapters of their careers for one last championship push. Going after LaVine would be right in line with that identity. So where does that leave us? Right now, this trade is just a rumor, an idea. But it's not coming out of nowhere. There's real chatter happening behind the scenes. There's real curiosity about what Pelinka might be cooking up. And if the Lakers fall short in the playoffs once again, don't be surprised if this idea gains serious traction this summer. Because one thing is for certain, time is ticking. LeBron doesn't have many seasons left. Luka is in his prime and hungry to win. The Lakers can't afford to wait. They need to make the most of this window, and that may mean making some very tough choices. But what do you think about all of this? Would you be willing to give up Austin Reeves, a young draft pick, and depth pieces to bring in a scorer like Zach LaVine? Do you believe it's the kind of high-risk, high-reward move that brings titles to LA? Or do you think the team should stay the course, continue developing Reeves, and build smarter around the existing core? Personally, as a fan, I'm torn. I love Reeves. I love what he brings to this team. But I can't lie, there's a part of me that would love to see Luka, LeBron, and LaVine sharing the court in Crypto.com arena. That kind of firepower, it's something you rarely get the chance to build. And it might just be enough to bring another banner to the rafters. The front office has reportedly also been exploring the idea of flipping smaller contracts for more specialized talent, guys who could defend multiple positions, hit open threes, and provide stability when the starters need rest. It's not as flashy as landing another all-star, but the Lakers have seen firsthand how important it is to have reliable role players when the postseason grind begins. And then there's the question of health. One of the unspoken issues this season has been the wear and tear on the team's core. LeBron, despite his ageless brilliance, is still 40. Doncic has dealt with minor injuries that could become lingering problems without proper management. Depth isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity if the Lakers want to avoid burnout in May and June. Sources close to the team have suggested that Pelinka and his staff are quietly preparing for multiple scenarios, one where they go all in on another star, and another where they double down on depth and internal development. The key variable in all of this, the playoffs. How this team performs in the first and second rounds could determine the entire direction of the offseason. There's also some internal buzz about Dalton Connect. The 17th overall pick has reportedly impressed in practice settings, showing the kind of polished scoring instincts that could translate quickly to the pro level. Trading him before seeing what he can do might be a gamble in its own right, especially for a Lakers team that hasn't exactly been stacked with young assets in recent years. Meanwhile, the coaching staff remains cautiously optimistic about the current group. Head coach Darvin Ham has made it clear in press conferences that he believes in this roster's potential, but he's also hinted at wanting more consistency from the second unit. That might be coach speak, or it might be a quiet message to the front office. Give us more tools. The chemistry within the locker room has been one of the team's biggest strengths this season. Players genuinely seem to like each other. Practices are intense but collaborative. The vibes are good, and that's not something to take for granted. A blockbuster trade could disrupt that harmony, even if it raises the team's ceiling. One wild card in all of this is the status of the collective bargaining agreement and looming luxury tax implications. Any move Pelinka makes will have ripple effects, not just this season, but for the next 3 or 4 years. Ownership has shown a willingness to spend, but there's a limit, even for a franchise like the Lakers. And don't forget about player buyouts. The Lakers have been active on that front in recent years, scooping up veterans mid-season who can provide key minutes off the bench. If they decide not to go big in the trade market, they can hold on to their assets and make smaller additions once the buyout market heats up. There's also growing chatter about what Luka Doncic wants long-term. While he hasn't made any public demands, it's no secret that he wants to win, and win now. The front office will have to balance their commitment to LeBron's final years with the need to keep Luka happy and invested in the franchise's vision. Off the court, the Lakers are still one of the NBA's biggest draws. TV ratings are strong. Ticket sales are elite. The brand is as powerful as ever. That gives them leverage and pressure. Fans expect greatness. And mediocrity, even when dressed up as a playoff berth, just isn't good enough in Los Angeles. As for Zach LaVine himself, sources say he's open to the idea of a fresh start. While Sacramento has been floated as a middle team in a multi-team deal, there's some belief that LaVine would welcome the opportunity to play in a bigger market and compete for a championship. That's something to keep an eye on. The biggest obstacle might actually be timing. If the Lakers want to make a move for LaVine or any other major piece, they may have to act quickly before other contenders jump into the mix. Teams like Miami, Dallas, and even Golden State have the assets and motivation to make aggressive offers. It's also worth mentioning that Anthony Davis, though no longer the centerpiece of this team, still holds major sway within the organization. Any significant move will likely involve conversations with AD about how it affects his role and the team's defensive identity. He remains the Lakers' best anchor on that end of the floor. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation going. Lakers Nation, your voice matters. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got more trade rumors, playoff breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes insights coming your way every single day. Stay locked in, and as always, go Lakers.